still haven't talked all of these tunes. But I still haven't talked all of these tunes. It's a beautiful day, certainly. Welcome to Talking Tunes with these few goons. Today I am joined by Alex Kramer,
Scooby Dooby,
and Vanessa St. Clair.
Scooby Dooby Doo.
Oh yeah, it's good to see everyone. We are just three friends going through a musical journey together, just trying to go through it one album at a time and hopefully have some laughs along the way. But the album we are doing today, my favorite band of all time and probably their most famous album, The Joshua Tree by U2. And so I'm going to do our little bit called Things You Can Read on Wikipedia. All right. So,
you got three Scooby Doos in.
Did we get more in? The Joshua Tree is the fifth studio album from Irish rock band U2. It was produced by Daniel Lanois and Brian Eno. It was released March 9th, 1987 on Island Records. And the band aimed for a bit of a harder sound and more conventional song structures on the Joshua Tree. This album was more influenced by country music and blues music and like Irish folk music, which is stuff they never really previously listened to before. And the lyrics are very socio-politically conscious lyrics about the spiritual imagery of America as opposed to the contrast of what America real is. In fact, the working title for this album was supposed to be The Two Americas. But
really?
Then, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Probably
yes.
should have read it on Wikipedia. Like I should have done.
But the Joshua Tree is actually it was a commonly said phrase, or it was given by a group of Mormon settlers who were going through the Mojave Desert in the mid-19th century.
Mojave,
thank you. The Mojave Desert in the 19th century. The trees helped them get through the desert, and combined with this unique shape, reminded them of the biblical story of Joshua, who kept his hands extended out in prayer. So that's where the name the Joshua Tree came from. And there's like a whole park dedicated in the Southwest to the Joshua Tree.
Wait, I live very close to there, but I didn't know that that's why they called it Joshua Tree. Mm-hmm. Wow. Now I know something about my neighborhood. What?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like 2 hours away from me, but my neighborhood.
It's still your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it's relatively close, but that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. You learn something every day.
So what are you guys' initial thoughts? Just to start.
Let's see. So I grew up being really close with two people who absolutely loved U2. My two childhood best friends are obsessed with U2, and so I had a lot of really big expectations coming into this because I never really listened to them before, and it was good. And there were a lot of songs that I knew and I really loved, and I can see why they have stood the test of time. There were others that I was like, okay, this is not my sound, but that's okay. I feel like overall, pretty good. Alex, what about you?
I mean, I've always known of U2 growing up. They were always just this humongous rock band. And I tried to get into them a few years ago, mainly because my brother started to try to get into them. But then it was the whole thing of I tried to force myself, no, I gotta get into U2. And then a couple years after that, I started to explore their albums more, and there's a bunch of their albums that really stick with me. One we did on our other version of the show, All That You Can't Leave Behind, is an album I really love by them. And then I remember just listening to this album I've always known a couple of songs on this album, but like listening to some songs on this album, just some songs really just get stuck in my head in here. And I just I was born in 1992, so I've always, for a big chunk of my life, always known who U2 was. They were always just this band that just get talked about, that they were just this huge rock band. And, Bono is apparently a humanitarian. He does things around the world. So that's another thing I've known about him. And so like yeah.
Yeah. So well, let's get right into it.
Cool.
Let's start with the opening song, "Where the Streets Have No Name."
Yeah. Matt, you start. This is your album. What are your thoughts?
So the lyrics are inspired by a story that Bono heard about Belfast, Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Where a person's religion and income was evaluated by the street that they lived on. And he contrasted this with this thing that he felt about visiting a utopia. The guy in the song recognizes this contrast and thinks that the world here, that there isn't such divides, a place where streets have no name. Maybe that's a dream of all art, to break down the barriers and the divisions between people and touch upon the things that matter the most to us. So basically, this song is sort of about freedom and just like, the joy of achieving it. And it builds beautifully. It's sort of like kind of like comes in gradually, and then like it like gets chugging like a locomotive train coming in.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing song. And my favorite part, really, like my favorite lyric, is that he's talking about all this utopia, like, our love turns to rush and like all this stuff. And then he just says, and when I go there with you. So it's like he wants to share this with somebody. It's an amazing song. It's an amazing way to open it up.
I like the way, this is a good opening track. I like the way it builds, because when I was getting ready for this episode, I listened to the first two tracks right before I went to go meet with my personal trainer. So like I just remember I was sitting there and like you hear the little bit of organ. I was like, okay, I'm really getting into this. And then you hear a little bit of the Edge's guitar, and then Larry and Adam start to come in, and it really like got me like mentally focused. So I really just like, this really is like a beginning album song. It slowly builds into a whole. God, I really wish I knew music terminology. Like the whole band just comes in, and then when Bono comes in, he doesn't scream or anything. The band's music goes down just a tiny bit, and you just hear Bono, and he's just he's doing the Bono thing. He's singing very passionately. Bono's signature thing. He just sounds passionate about whatever he's singing. And then, but yeah, I really dug this song too. I thought it started out the album great.
He sings every song like it's the last song he'll ever sing. Go ahead, Vanessa.
I think it's a lovely song. I think it's very famous, and I am a fan of that. Wow, that sounds really...
I think it's famous.
That sounds really mean. No, I actually really do like this song, like overall for the album. I don't know if I necessarily... Part of me really loves the idea that it kind of comes in, but like also the intro was so long that I was like, did I even press play? I was sitting there in front of the computer for like 45 seconds going, is it? Oh, it's playing. Okay, it's playing. And like, honestly, I love that, but I'm also a person who's like, I don't have time to wait for the melody. I want to come in with like, you know me. When I die, I want it to be like a giant explosion, a star. Like, I don't want to like fade out into the distance. I want it to be like, boom, I'm here, biatches. And so that's kind of
your one.
I said biatches.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, no, it's not a swear.
It's true.
No, it's not. I kind of like albums that start off a little bit more like, but once it gets into it, I mean, it's really great.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about it. Nothing really inventive, but I'm a fan. Oh my god. Okay.
I will say this about this song because I've seen this band live several times.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen them like 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this song is magic every time it's played. Like even if like the show, like I've seen them times where they've been really great, and sometimes where they've been kind of like going through the motions, and that's true. And
that's like the worst thing you can say about a musician.
Well, I mean,
just going through.
It's true, but anytime they get to Where the Streets Have No Name, it doesn't matter. The crowd goes crazy every time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like oh, this show isn't going well. Let's play Streets, and then and then it's going great after that. But let's move on to I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So this song is basically a gospel song.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. This song is basically a gospel song. It's a little bit anti-gospel in a weird way.
Yeah.
He's basically speaking. He's saying like things like, "I'm speaking with the tongues of angels and holding hands on the devil." He's searching somewhere within the spirituality, and he continues to search. This song is actually kind of sad, but it's structured in a way where it sounds like something you'd hear in church or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently, what is the producer's name? Daniel, how do you say his last name?
Daniel Lenoir.
Daniel, he's singing background vocals on this, I think. Yeah, and I definitely got the whole gospel feel of this song. This is another song that really it hit me. Like the vocals really sell me on this song. Just like how beautiful they sound, and they were well produced. But yeah, and before doing research, I watched the scene from the Rattle and Hum movie where they're doing. You've obviously seen that movie, right?
Yeah, yeah, they're in the church and they're doing that.
In the church.
I have not seen this movie. What happens in this movie?
It's like a concert film, I think. I've only seen that one clip.
Oh.
But like they're in a church and they're having a choir sing I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. It sounds fantastic, and Bono's just getting like really into it. He's just like, Bono just has his own thing. He's sitting there in the church and he's like just he's just like getting really into it. Like, and he's in like a room that's like it's only him, the film crew, and like the chorus of people. But the thing that makes me laugh the most is there's just a random guy there with like a jacket and some sunglasses who's like conducting the chorus, and he's just like doing nonchalant. He's got this thing. He's like.
I'm sure all of his years of experience and all of those years of training, I'm sure he would love our impression of him. Like, I'm sure he'd be like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted people to say about me.
What do you think of the song? What do you think of the song, Vanessa?
Oh, it's great. Like, I think this is probably my favorite song, like even over like With or Without You. Like, I think this is probably my favorite U2 song. What I'm curious about is because this song and Where the Streets Have No Name, I still haven't found what am I saying? Yeah. What I'm looking for, and then With or Without You, they all have like a very similar sound, and I'm curious because you were talking about the like Irish folk songs and then country and rock and roll. I don't get any of that from this sound at all. I don't get any of those influences whatsoever. And so I was really like, this seems like solely them. I think there's only a couple bands that really have like a particular sound. I think the Doors have a particular sound that can't really be replicated, and U2 has a particular sound that, you know, as soon as you hear it, you know it's them, and that's this. And I'm curious because you know more about them than I do. Have they made that sort of sounding stuff before this?
Not quite like this. Like they kind of came out of like sort of a post-punk movement. Like that's kind of how they started off, like in that scene, and then like sort of like on their last album, The Unforgettable Fire, they started like experimenting with more sort of like kind of vibes, if that makes sense. Like more like I don't want to use the term ambient, but like mostly it's just like
No,
their
I
album.
understand what you mean.
Yeah. So like they sort of on the Joshua Tree, they try to like sort of combine both of them, but at the same time, they stopped listening to like they sort of expanded from listening to just like Joy Division and bands like that, and they started listening to BB King and started listening to like Waylon Jennings and like this
Okay,
and like
so
this is
I
stuff they
love
never listened
both
to.
of those artists, but that does not at all translate to this album. Like
Well, I
Yeah.
think it's later on the album.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I do
can see
agree
that.
with Vanessa. There was definitely like, I like when I read that they were like Bono apparently like worked on like a Steve Van Zandt album, and he like was talking like a lot of name dropping, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, and he didn't really know like the music the Rolling Stones were talking about because he didn't really grow up and listen to those bands. But yeah, I definitely don't see it, like hear those influences on these first couple of songs, honestly.
Yeah, speaking of the first couple of songs, I think we should go on to With or Without You because I think that's arguably their most famous song.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
This is-
Wait, not arguably. It 100% is.
Yeah. This is
what
the
do you
song
think
you've
about
probably
it?
heard from them if you've either this or Beautiful Day. Like these
Yeah.
are like this song is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think it means? I mean, they probably already did an interview and I didn't watch it, but what do you think?
You know, I've watched a ton of interviews, and he's never really said specifically what this song is about. I mean, it's about a tortured relationship that one cannot escape. But like it doesn't say if he's never said if it's like about his wife. He's never said if it's about his relationship with God. Some people have interpreted that it's about drugs. It's sort of. I think it is sort of like being in a really what it's about. It's like being in a codependent relationship,
Yeah.
Totally.
or just not being able to escape something that is like ruining you. And like honestly, the lyrics to me are not the real interesting thing about the song. The instrumentation is like it sounds like you're floating through space, and
Yeah.
like the
It
edges,
does.
yeah, and like the edges, like the edges guitar work on this song is just other. I don't even know how like he kind of did it. To be honest with you, just
Yeah.
that's sort of like that thing in the beginning where it's like it sounds like the guitar is kind of like woo, you know. I don't even like
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw this part where he was talking about like the ending of the song, and he said like he was like talking about like, oh, this is my favorite guitar work I did on the whole album, because he said like, oh, I could have like done this like crazy guitar solo, but he loves how simple it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And-
it was just like D. It was like D minor, just a simple. Na, 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 na. It was so satisfying.
And that's all the song needs. If it had like a crazy guitar solo, you would kind of be like, wait, what's going on here? They would kind of take away from like the deep, like the beautifulness of the song. And I remember like before like I really like dove into U2 albums, this was probably my favorite U2 song just because of just musically how it sounds. And like this is another thing. These like first three songs, musically, they start like a little like quiet, then then later they get just a little bit loud, just because like there's a little bit of drumming from Larry. And then at one point, like Bob's like,
Yeah, at 3 minutes 3 seconds is like this tidal wave of an emotional outburst from Bono, and it's really emotional and amazing. And Alex just ruined it forever.
Yeah, that was my plan. Now you can't stop thinking about it, right? But yeah, just
Wait.
what were you gonna say, Vanessa?
Oh, nothing. My timing is off today because I can't speak without sounding like this. I sound like Bill Cosby, and so I tried to say something like cute and witty in response to your joke, and the moment passed. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, this song is just very beautiful. They're just a tight band. The way they structure songs, just especially on this album, are just like fantastic. So I really just have, that's just my 2 cents.
Vanessa, what are your thoughts on this song?
Oh, I love this song. I think it's great. I think, this is what I think of when I think about U2. And, the first 3 songs, like I said before, are just like their sound that I always associate with them. To be honest, I didn't know that they made any music that didn't sound like this. But this is probably the best version of this sound, so I really like it. It's good.
Probably actually a good way of putting it. Like, this is the best version of their sound. Like, the first 3 songs are like real, like they're arguably like their most famous 3 songs. Like are these songs, and With or Without You is like a weird different kind of song. Like, it doesn't really have like a chorus.
No.
And like it's kind of strange because it like really builds and builds and then it hits that emotional wail that Bono hits on the vocal, and then
do the vocal
comes back down.
I like mine better.
We should move on.
Yes. This is like the most heavy. This is like the most heavy U2 song I've ever listened to.
Yeah, Bullet the Blue Sky. A lot to talk about with this one.
Yeah, this is a very angry political song. Apparently, if I got this right from what I read, like Bono went to El Salvador.
El Salvador, yeah.
And saw like villages being burned, and that like angered him. So like, is this specifically about his trip there, or like what, like just foreign policy that was going on with the Reagan administration?
Yeah, I mean, I could get into the whole like how horrible the Reagan administration was to Central America.
That is,
but I think I'll stay out of that one for a moment. But basically, like this song is about what he experienced during his during a missionary trip to El Salvador and sort of the consequences of military actions by the U.S. And yeah, it made him very angry. But like musically, like for me, this song is about Adam Clayton and Larry Mullen. Their drum and bass on this song, this like sort of like ominous sort of thing that they have. It sounds like a tank rolling in. And then it like sort of like drops these like sort of arpeggio guitar riffs that just it sounds like war. And,
and like didn't Bono told the Edge, like, I want to hear El Salvador through your amplifier.
That's insane.
And I think this is 100% true. You can Google this. The Edge said, "You got it, Bono."
Alex, that sounds like a tune, you goon.
Okay.
That sounds like a tune, you goon.
Ba, 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 ba. You got it, Bono. Ooh, you got it, Bono. I'm doing everything for you. Need to pick up your dry cleaning. I got it. Need a massage. You got it. I'm here to serve you, Bono. Bono. Do everything for you. You always wear sunglasses. I've never seen your eyes for more than 5 minutes. Bono. Bono. I do everything for you.
Fantastic.
Fabulous.
Hey, disembodied voice. What did you think of that?
Best song on the album.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. They screwed up not putting that on this.
The one thing I also really love about this song is like how the lyrics are presented, because like it literally sounds like a hellfire and brimstone preacher at like a Catholic church, and he's like, and he uses this like very biblical sounding imagery. He's like, in a locust wind comes a rattling hum. I just love that imagery.
He says it like very like serious, kind of like whispery tone that really matches well with like, which I completely agree. Larry and Adam they were such a good rhythm section for this. I just really dig Larry. Larry's the drummer, right?
Yes.
I always mix the two names.
Go ahead, Vanessa. What do you think?
Well, the note that I wrote for this, and don't hate me, says finally a different sound. Which is like super rude considering that the first three are so iconic. But I feel that way because I think that it's nice whenever artists like don't have the same song over and over again, and this felt different. Although I didn't really like the cacophony at the end, like when it was just like I didn't like that. It was like 3/4 of the way through, and I was like, okay, I mean, now that I get the political message, okay, but like also, this isn't pleasant to listen to. But I think that's the point. I think he made something and he was like, you know what, screw you. I want to make this song and I want you to feel, you know, the way that these people felt and feel what I felt when I saw them, which I think is good, but also like, I don't know. I also like Fortunate Son, but I think that kind of sounds better. But like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's
He's not Fortunate Son has like a little more like happier sounding. Like you can like, definitely like rock your head to this, but like it's but yeah, this song is definitely more serious and just like it's definitely like. They definitely weren't going for a dance song here. It's definitely like Bono was saying, like, I saw some crap. I'm really mad about it, and I'm really just gonna let out my anger in this song. So, yeah. Good.
Not a joyous bop for your afternoon barbecue. Let's move on to Running to Stand Still, which is also not a song I would play at a party.
I loved the harmonica at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was so nice. That was so not the point of the song, but I liked it.
No, this is actually where that country influence kind of creeps its way in.
See it. I can see it now that you're talking about it.
Yeah, a little bit of acoustic guitar playing in the beginning,
Right. And then it kind of works with this my hair's driving me crazy today. It starts off with this sort of like Western sounding guitar, like out in the old West, like I'm gonna shoot you first kind of thing, and then it goes into like this this chord, this piano progression that pretty much is the basis for the entire song. Everything on this song is extremely minimal, which is like a great contrast from Bullet the Blue Sky, which is like pow 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 explosions literally, and then this song is more like just like very ease. Very happy, even though the song. Go ahead, Alex.
I think that's all the song needed, though. I liked how minimal it was, with just a little bit of piano and the Edge's guitar playing. I don't know who played piano on this song, but the two complemented each other really well. It was like, nice job, piano. Well, thank you. Good job, guitar. I don't know why I did that, but it's my humor. And this song is about like a not so great subject. It's about heroin addicted couple living in Dublin. Is that right?
Yeah.
And just their lives, like what they do, like just a day in the life, or.
Yeah, pretty much. That is basically what it is. It's like there's a lyric in there where he refers to a place. I see seven towers, which was this abandoned drug house in Dublin, Ireland, and during like the mid 70s to like the probably till now, like heroin is an epidemic in Ireland, and it's and that's here. What it and here and everywhere. But it's so it's kind of a sad song, in that aspect, and again, not something I would play at a barbecue party.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on
barbecue? You play that song.
It depends on the kind of barbecue that you want to have, my man.
Bad barbecue.
I like
All right.
really down and out, depressing barbecue. Everyone has on some black flannel.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be only eating dry rub because that clearly is more sad than wet barbecue.
Wet rub.
You know what I'm talking about? Like when they just do the spices.
Do they just eat the spices?
No. When you put the meat in the spices and you don't have a sauce on top and it's just dry rub ribs. You know what I'm talking about. Please
I
tell me.
legitimately thought you were talking about eating.
That sounds like a tune, you goon.
Wait, which sounds like a tune? Which thing I said?
Dry rub.
Oh, dry rub. Okay.
That sounds like a tune. You goon.
Dry rub on the meat. It hurts so good when it's going, but it tastes so good in the oven. Dry rub on the meat.
That sounds like a Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah.
That seems. You know what? I would play that at my barbecue.
I would play
play
that.
that.
Born to dry rub. Yeah.
Ew. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, let's move on.
That sounds really creepy.
Yeah.
But like Bono's vocals here are really great. Like a lyric that really spoke out to me is, "You gotta cry without weeping, talk without speaking." And like thinking about that now,
without
like,
raising your voice.
yeah. And is that like direct? I'm thinking like, does that directly reference the drug use?
I mean, it seems like something that you would experience when you're going through pain.
Yeah.
What do you think, Vanessa?
I think I do agree that those are probably the most eloquent lines of the grouping, but I think it's just talking about how you feel when you are not getting what you want, and when you feel. I feel like this is another song that's in a relationship that it's like really toxic and you can't get out of. You know what I mean? Like clearly, I think they don't want to do it anymore, or else they wouldn't be weeping, but they can't help it. And it's like sort of the end of that high when you're like, okay, I want some more, but I have to wait, and you're like trying to wait, but you can't. I felt like that's what he was saying there.
All right, guys, that's halfway through the album, so you know what that means.
That means it's time to get serious, okay? I needed a little snack to get me through this one. But you know what? It's halfway through the show. We're going to talk about the fabulous theater that is putting on this show for you. The Arcade Comedy Theater. That's right. Where we provide unparable entertainment. Where it is unparalleled in quality. Where we have unparallelable. That was supposed to be unbelievable. Unbelievable content and jokes for you. And we please ask that you support Arcade Comedy Theater by clicking the link below and possibly giving a few dollars so that way we can take a lunch break. That's right, we had to work through our lunch break to make this for you. That's why I'm eating a pear, and I didn't even have time to cut it, so I'm cutting it right now. And this is a very serious knife to get across how serious it is that we save our stages. So please donate some money so that way I can take a lunch break. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that, Vanessa.
That was uncomparable.
It was right. I don't do fruit puns. I don't.
You're a banana.
That's why I do the middle part, because it's 90% fruit puns, 10% fundraising.
Well, aren't you great? Let's let's move on to Red Hill Mining Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
This song is about a labor strike in a mining town, and it's a very basic. It's basically a very pro labor song, and it's one of my favorite vocal performances from Bono. Actually, he really gives it socks on this, and
He gives it socks.
he gives it socks.
What
and,
is that? Is that a phrase that people say?
I think it's a phrase Europeans say that, and they're from Ireland, so I figured I would.
Gives it socks.
I've never heard anything.
Bono really warms up the feet of this.
He really is cozy by the fire of this song. He's going to Tube Sock City. That's how much he loves this song, and he really puts his all into it. He drove all the way through Tube Sock City into Slipper Town. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Great. What do you think of the song?
Okay. I like the lyric, we stoop so low so we can reach so high. And I wasn't exactly sure what that meant. I mean, like, I do understand, like, emotionally what that means, but I wasn't sure if he was talking about, like, do we work so hard so that way we can, like, eventually get so much, and then ultimately, do we end up getting so much? Do we end up achieving what we want to achieve, and we're still working for slave labor? I really relate to this song, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. Okay. I really connected with that lyric, and I thought it was really beautiful instrumentation.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
I don't have much to say about this song. It's just that musically, it's great. It's catchy. The chorus got stuck in my head. Just a great performance by Bono. And yeah, and also just another example of like U2 really cares about a lot of things. They really are. Yeah.
Well, we all need to. I don't try to get too political on here, but we all need to support the labor movement more, and that's how I'll get into that. Amazon. So the other thing, the one thing that's also interesting about this song is that they never performed this song live until they recently did a 30th anniversary of the Joshua Tree tour, and this was like the first time they ever played the song live. So when I went and saw them, it was really great to hear that live, because like they implement like horns and stuff like that, and that was really cool for me to be able to hear that song live, knowing that they never really played it live very much.
Yeah.
Fair.
There was a music video. There was a music for this song, right?
Yeah, and it's really hilariously 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you guys want to laugh at the 80s, watch the video to this song, because it's just it's like Bono like used to wear like those white tank tops with like suspenders. He looks ridiculous.
But it's not the cool 80s that we love.
No.
It's not Olivia Newton-John 80s. This is
that cool 80s.
No,
this is the 80s that everyone loves.
The 80s that everyone loves.
No.
Right, let's go to the next song.
Okay,
Right.
I want to speak on this. I would like to speak on this. Okay, don't hate. I actually really loved this song, but I found it also hilarious because it's like the entire album they didn't want to rhyme at all, and they were like, you know what? Screw the idea that we have to make this song cohesive in any way. And then they took this song, and it sounded like maybe a record producer, maybe someone from the label said, hey, you haven't rhymed at all on this album. Maybe you should try like rhyming, I don't know, once or twice in a song. And they're like, we're going to put it on every line. Every other word in this song is like a rhyme. I'm like, okay. That feels a little bit on the nose for me. But I thought it was good. I mean, I actually really liked it. Oh my gosh, what did I write? Sleep comes like a drug in God's country. And hearing that line, I was like, whoa, that's really intense, because I feel like sleep is the only way that you can get out of, you know, your day and sort of reset from what a trash day it is. And whenever you are in the middle of nowhere, that's your entertainment. That's what you are doing. And I don't know. That sounded really bad. Oh,
No,
U2, here's the thing. U2 is very pro sleep. Like,
they're pros.
they're pro labor movement. They're and American military things, and they're very pro sleep. That's what they're all about.
Mm-hmm. What I meant by that was like you know, when people have nothing to do, they sleep more. When you're depressed, you kind of sleep more. It feels like it's a way to sort of just take up time so that way you don't have to think about your life and you don't have to think about what you have to do every day, and you don't have to think about the kind of life that you're leading if you can just sleep it off. That really hit me, but it was really good. I really liked it.
This song is the most, like we talked earlier about, like the To America sort of concept that they were playing with. This is the most obvious version of that concept to come out on the album, in my opinion, because this song is literally about the idyllic imagery of America and its physical beauty, dreaming beneath the desert sky. The rivers run low but still run dry. And then, like, also he talks about setting fire to crooked crosses and like, and so, like, you know, the thing that's kind of, maybe this is something that might make some people like go about this, but like literally, like the idea of this album, like lyrically, could only be done by someone who has never lived in this country, who can kind of like see like what we try to present ourselves as a country, but then also knowing what we actually are. So it's
I think people within could make this song. I don't think that like we could. I don't think we would be like, no, I don't understand our inside persona and what we present at all. I think that we could totally do that, but it is interesting having, you know, sort of an outsider's point of view, which so few American people want to hear. But
Alice, do you have anything to say about this song?
I really dug this song. The Edge's guitar work, it just blows me away with this tune. And I really do like the messaging of the song, of just like, you know, how other countries are, and then like seeing the message of America, just like America is strong, America is just great to welcome. Then being an outsider, seeing how other countries are, then coming to America and hearing the message of America, you kind of go, wait a minute, I don't think you're really following your message that is promoted. So I really agree with that message as someone who hasn't traveled to other countries. So I'm waiting for comments of like, you hypocrite, but but I do like the message. Just, I don't know. I mean, I know the Edge is really, do you think this is the album where really the Edge's guitar work really, what am I trying to say here?
His classic sound.
His classic sound. Yeah. Like, this is the album where his classic sound really came into fruition. Like,
oh, absolutely. I think that if, you know, U2 has gone through an array of different sounds throughout their career. But if I'm trying to introduce somebody to U2 and be like, this is really what they're about, this is the album I'd give to them first. Yeah. So, like, you know, you know, and I'll get into my whole entire feelings about it later, but like, this is definitely be like, oh, you want to get into U2? Listen to the Joshua Tree first. And if you like the Joshua Tree, then maybe try other stuff. But let's go on to Trip Through Your Wires.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I had a feeling you were going to love this song.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I listened to it, I tripped on a bunch of wires, and I was like, it's true. So. Yeah, it's completely unsafe. Please pick up your wires if you're done with them. But yeah, but this is like one of the songs where I really went, like, after like reading up on, like, they really wanted to like put in like different musical styles, or I go like, oh, now I hear it. because it's very bluesy. Bono's playing the harmonica, which I was like, of course he is. I don't know why I was like, of course Bono's playing the harmonica. I don't know why I thought that, but just I thought it was really cool. But I think this sounds like a love song. Like he's just really happy with this person.
I mean, yeah, but it's also been rumored that this is also another song about like about this person that he's longing for is also addicted to drugs. Hence the I'm waiting for you.
That was my one. That was my one. Yeah.
I didn't even catch it.
Yeah,
I didn't even catch it. But like, yeah, he says like, what does he say? I'm waiting for you. You set my desire. I trip through your wires, and like the wire can refer to. Well, I'll let you guys interpret it yourself. Go ahead.
No,
Vanessa.
say it. No.
I mean, okay. So if you're on heroin, you have to tie your arm together to inject yourself.
Really? That's what you thought that meant? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So I'll tell you what I thought it meant. So I thought he was saying like, you sort of draw me in, and then it's like double-sided glass or like a barbed wire, but barbed wire hurts from both sides. I'm trying to think of something where like you can get in, but you can't get out. Like you sort of pulled me in. You have all of these beautiful qualities. I really love you, and you really like. I really want you, and then you have these like. Once I get in, then I see the absolute Grey Gardens trash show that is your life, and I'm trying to get out, but I trip as I'm like leaving, and I'm kind of stuck there. That's what I thought. I didn't think he was literally talking about like.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's
like
just
strings around his arms.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like it was more like he's like trying to get close to her, but she has booby traps set up metaphorically. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you think it's like on the way in he gets stuck? Not on the way out.
I trip through your wires. I step on your landmines. I get the big giant hand from the Jackass movie smacking me in the face.
I get that. No, I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is like, do you think he's getting tripped up before he gets to her, or him, or it, or they, or do you think that he's getting tripped up when he leaves them? Like,
I think it's when, if we're using this metaphor, I think it's on his way in because he's like falling for this person, and then like he's getting close, and then like when he gets closer to her, she pushes him away, and like she has things set up to like protect herself from getting too deep, and whatever. So
well, there's another part of the song where it says like where it says I was thirsty and you wet my lips, meaning like I think that she took care of him, so he like went in and then was taken care of, and then he tried to leave, like Hotel California, like when he was, when they talk. What's the line? Oh God, no, I can't remember.
You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Yes, thank you. We're telepathy, my friend. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like maybe he gets in, but then he can't get out.
Can I say something about the composition of this song, though?
Yeah.
This song is probably the most lo-fi sounding on the whole album. And like,
what does that mean? What's
well,
lo-fi?
it's just very low production. And like it literally sounds to me like they all were in a room together and did this one take, because the vocal mix on this song is not that great. Because I can barely understand what he's saying. Like I could hear like lips are dry and then movement, it's just like. But I really dig it. Like obviously, like they're giving it socks, so it's like
Tube Sock City.
They did Sock City, baby.
Good. I think we should go to the next song, which is
my favorite song on the album.
Same here.
Wait,
here.
I gotta see which song's next. One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill.
Is this a TV show?
It is. And I knew it was just so much.
Is the TV show based on this song?
Not at all.
No.
Cool.
Did you watch the show?
It. No, I did not. I was I was an infant.
I wasn't.
I'm just kidding. I wasn't.
This song it sounds very joyful, but it actually has a very serious meaning. It's like
It's
about.
sad. It's
It's
sad,
very
but also
sad.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I go, Alex, about this?
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah. So this song was written in the memory of Bono's personal assistant, Greg Carroll, who was killed in a motorcycle accident in Dublin in 1986.
84.
Yeah. And
You said this detail about his life. That's so sad. You said, yeah.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
died two years earlier.
so,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. It reflects on, but it reflects on like Bono's thoughts during his funeral. And Greg was a part of the Maori people who lived in New Zealand. So when they took him back home to his funeral in New Zealand, and he was reflecting on the time where Greg took Bono to this place known as, and I apologize, I'm going to butcher this, called the Muklen Magukiki, which is, well, typically it's known as One Tree Hill. And it's like, and it was like this it was the largest and most important settlement of the Maori village before pre-European times.
Yeah.
So he's like, there's also like this quick tribute to Victor Jawa, who was a Chilean folk singer who was known for his left-wing political activism.
Yeah.
That was apparently Greg's favorite singer. So it's just like a really beautiful tribute to him, and he's like, "I'll see you again when the stars fall from the sky and the moon turns red over One Tree Hill."
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful, beautiful song, and I really like am moved by it.
Yeah. Because they're probably really good friends.
Yeah,
And,
it was his personal assistant. Yeah.
Yeah, and it comes from like this, like, you know, this isn't goodbye, I'll see you later. And,
Right.
you know, that probably like affected him because it was just, this album came out 3 years after that happened. But, you know, but yeah, and also like, I really like at the end, like the last like 30 seconds of the song is just Bono just going for it.
Giving it socks.
Giving it socks. He's like just Bonoing all over the place in the last 30 seconds of the song.
What does that even mean? Can you define Bonoing for us, please, Alex?
It means like really just getting overly passionate and really like trying to get like I feel like Bono, if he was a pastor, he would like be a pastor that everyone would want to talk to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. He'd be the
Okay.
cool
Maybe,
pastor.
maybe not everyone would want to talk to. That's giving it. Yeah, that's a little too much. But like I just have this feeling like he really likes speaking his mind and really like opening up about the things he's seen, which he's been criticized for. A lot of people have said like Bono is like very fake woke, and he's been made fun of because he's like he does a lot of like humanitarian things, and so. But just with his singing,
that's my favorite quality. My favorite quality is when people who do nothing make fun of someone who's like trying.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Vanessa. Give me insincere charity over apathy any day.
Any day, yeah.
Like,
Any day.
At least he's
Yeah.
doing something.
Yeah,
Right.
he's doing something with his like powerful celebrity, and he's doing it for good. But yeah,
Right.
I wasn't making fun of him for that, but just
No.
Vanessa, what do you-
I'm not. We're not
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
you did. We're saying
Yeah,
like
yeah.
other people
Right.
are like.
Vanessa,
why
what are your
would
thoughts
you-
on this song?
What did I write? Now I feel like such a jerk. Because I'm looking at my notes. Okay, it says beginning sounds like it should be the theme to a motivational athletic movie. Think like a Rudy. I wasn't necessarily a fan of this song. I'm so sorry because I know you guys love it. I think it was like okay. Sorry, not sorry. It wasn't my bag
Give
of
your
tea.
opinion. Look, give your opinions socks.
Give my opinion sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Go
song
hard.
sucked. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it did. But I wanted to take like a hard take. No, I feel like it was okay. It just wasn't my favorite on the album, but I still think it was like kind of pretty, but it wasn't like my favorite.
What do you think of that disembodied voice?
Need socks.
Needs socks.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
it's a very beautiful song.
Yeah.
I just, especially hearing the backstory of it, makes the song even more enjoyable for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Exit. And honestly, this is the part of the album where it starts to dip a little bit for me. I kind of wish that the song... Yeah. I kind of, like, I've listened to this album for years, and I'll give my opinions about it on the end, but this song, it just doesn't work for me. The one thing that's interesting about the song is that it was developed in a lengthy jam session, and it was actually done in one take. But it's more lyrically about the portrayal of a serial killer. And, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear U2 talk about serial killers. That's just not how I...
Really? It's about
just
a
don't want
serial
that.
killer? I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Norman Mailer novel that Bono was reading at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I didn't exit from listening to the album, but I didn't head for the exit because I was listening to it on Spotify. I can't. There's no way to exit. I can't leave my house. I can. It's a free country, but yeah, the whole song just didn't really do much for me. It's not. That's the thing. Like, it's not a terrible song. It just it just felt like a little bit of a filler track for me.
Why would you put a song named Exit, not Last? That's what I'm like.
I kind of had that thought too. Like, I don't know. I
That's
guess
kind of rude. Like, just don't include it. Or put it last. Just put it last. It seems like it's a cruel joke.
I don't think the song should have been on the album at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because it's so... No, I'm just kidding.
Matt, that sounds like a tune, you goon.
Oh, that doesn't. Okay.
That sounds like a tune.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, Bono, oh, that song shouldn't be on the album. Oh, Bono, oh, that song shouldn't be on the album. Bono, take that song off the album, please, Bono. That song shouldn't be on the album. Larry, Adam, and the Edge, will you please talk to Bono and get it through his head that the song shouldn't be on the album, oh, Bono. There you go.
I would just love it if while you were singing that, Bono in the background turned his head.
Excuse me.
Do you know who you're talking
No,
to?
Bono, it shouldn't be on the album.
But yeah,
when you first started singing that, I thought it was like, oh, mama, and I thought you were going to be like, oh, Bono, you, and I thought you were going to, like, do that. Yeah, but it was not. It was not what. It's fine. I like you took your own tune with it. It turned out really well.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, like listening to the whole album and then hearing Exit, I just felt like this doesn't really feel in place with the whole album. Right. It really did feel out of place. So, does anyone else have anything left to say?
No.
Let's go to the saddest song ever.
Mothers of the Disappeared.
Yeah.
This song is
heavy.
Yeah, this is like them really like going full electronic on this album. It's very minimal, and like, you know, they were not, from what I read, they were not really into like the whole like new wave sound that was going on in the 80s. But I felt like this is like the most, not completely 80s sounding song in the album, but like them kind of going with like a little bit of what the times were, like getting a little electronic on this song.
I don't know about that. It doesn't, I mean, I don't think that. I sort of like, it sounded like it was very, like, the one thing that was kind of interesting was the rhythm of it. Like, that's sort of like it sounded like there was like insects in the woods. Like, I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but it was a really interesting rhythm. But this song is about, again, Bono's trip to El Salvador, and he came up when he was working with Amnesty International, and he came across the Mayor de se Plaza de Mayo, which is a group of women whose children had been forcibly disappeared at the hands of the Argentinian dictatorships.
God.
And, again, another song I wouldn't play at a barbecue.
Unless it was a sad barbecue.
It was a sad barbecue.
And then in that case, this would be the perfect song for that.
Right.
Oh.
What do you think, Vanessa?
It's a bummer. That's all I gotta say about it. Yeah, it was a bummer. I mean, lovely, but what a great way to spend a Saturday night, which is how I listened to it last night, and that was probably a mistake because I was already not feeling great. Yeah, this is not going to be like one of those things where you look out the window and the rain is coming down, like when you were in school and you'd like sit on the bus and have your head on the window and be like, am I Harry Potter? Or like, do I have a... You know what I'm talking about?
Wow.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Am I Harry Potter?
Okay. You know when the kids, like, you know what I'm talking about, when you would put your head on the window and you'd be like, so you had a bad day, you take it. Well, you would like listen to a song and you'd be like, this is me right now. I'm so dramatic in the 5th grade. Like, and the hand is the window, you know, and it would kind of be like raining outside and you would just feel like the condensation. You'd be like, is that tears? No, it's condensation. This is, sometimes you listen to songs and they're so cathartic. For example, like Billy Joel's Vienna. That is very cathartic to me when I'm feeling low. I'm like, I'll put on that and I'm feeling great again. This, not that. This song, I go, okay, I was feeling low. Let me just go to the bottom pits of hell. Let me just feel my absolute worst.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
this did that. But, you know, I guess we need those songs too.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely trying to get a message across. But if you like read the lyrics, it's really obvious once you like learn about what the song's about. Like, you know, midnight, our sons and daughters were cut down and taken from us. Hear their heartbeat, we hear their heartbeat, which really just cuts you down. And it's not a loud ending of the album. It's very just quiet. Bono even like whisper. He's kind of like half talking, half singing with his.
Right.
So he's kind of like I Bono'd all over the place for all of this album. I really sang my heart out. I was very passionate. I'm very passionate about this, but it kind of felt like he was like, all right, this is a song we wrote, and he apparently composed this on a Spanish guitar, and he wrote this in Ethiopia, which I thought is such a cool fact. But it just kind of like, talking about this now, it just kind of felt like, you know, like, I wrote this song, but I really just want to talk to the audience. I'll kind of sing it for you, but really, this is some really dark stuff that's going on, and I kind of don't want to have you dancing. You can't. If you could dance this song, that'd be really interesting.
Heartbeat.
You know what?
Feel the heartbeat.
I have to think about this because I was not laughing at your commentary. I thought it was so true, but I started laughing because I thought about, like, we love Bono and we can listen to his music and feel amazing, but can you imagine being in the band with Bono and you're like, okay, I'm having a good day, let's go record like something, and then he comes in, he's like, guys, we have to record the saddest song, and then you have to do it like 18 times in a row, and then something goes wrong, so then you're there for 5 hours recording the same song, and then it's like, okay, what's the next track? And he's like, another downer, and you're like, okay, cool, thanks Bono, thanks, maybe I want to play something, I don't know, a little bit like Kylie Minogue, and he's like, no, let's play this saddest song. Oop, that was my word. And he's like, I want to play the saddest freaking song we've ever heard in our life. And you're like, okay, but maybe this once, can we just do like a Yankee Doodle Dandy sort of like ditty? Can we just do like something a little bit like more up? Can we just do like, I don't know, Crocodile Rock? Can we have our own version of like Benny and the Jets? And he's like, no, no, we're gonna sing this even sadder song. And that's what I feel like Bono would do.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like him, like, from a distance, but like I can't imagine being friends with him. He's the dude who, like, you would serve a dry rub rib to, and he would be like, you know, did you source these ribs from the special distillery of meats that is vegan free? And you're like, okay, no, I killed a boar out back. Like, I don't know.
I think that we, you know, it was an interesting tangent to go on, Vanessa.
Okay. Sorry.
But this actually, yeah, this album, while it is like really great, it also did like sort of like make U2 come out to like look like, oh my god, they're so exhausting. You know, like
It did.
there's nothing like really like light, at least at this time. There wasn't really anything like light about them. Like they were like renowned for being like, oh my god, they're so serious. Yes, that's my one. And like but later on, like they, especially on like later albums, like they learned to like embrace like silliness a little bit. And
it's typically the other way around. People
Right.
typically start off silly and then they become much more serious.
No,
as
yeah, they
become
went the-
stars, and
yeah.
they're like they were alt, and then they went, you know what? I have some kids now. Maybe it would be good for them if I showed some positivity.
Right.
Maybe it would be good.
Well, maybe, you know, and then, you know, spoiler alert for maybe a later episode. There's an album that I would like to talk about someday that this band also put out. But that's it. That's the entire album. So
Yeah.
go ahead and give your guys' final thoughts, excuse me.
I'll go first. Even though I haven't gotten too deep like Matt and dove deep into the universe of U2, I can appreciate like studying this album a little, reading just showing like as a band trying to grow their sound and expand their tastes, because they all are big music lovers and trying to like also. Yes, they are very serious, and it is exhausting. And sometimes you don't want to hear like the horrible things that are going on in the world. But like, just see like this is actually a band that really does care about stuff that's going on. It was actually a really cool thing, and I really like that they expanded their sound, and certain members found like their signature thing. This being that young in this band, and this album effing skyrocketed them into fame. So I gotta say, I gotta give it 4 out of 5 international vacations with Bono.
Ooh.
Oh.
Go ahead, Vanessa.
I would say that this song pretty much solidified their sound. It's what we all come to know and love about U2. I also think if they were trying to make music that sounded in any way similar to what they say the influences were, they did not really achieve that. But that's okay, because they sort of like invented their own version of it. And I thought several of the songs were really good, but overall it wasn't my cup of tea. So I would say 3 out of 5. Very thick sunglasses.
Those are some thick sunglasses. So, really why I wanted to do, I mean, I'll put it like this. I want to do this show as long as possible. I really enjoy doing this show. We were already kind of planning to do a different album, and then sort of like at the last possible moment, I asked everyone if we could review this, because this was obviously my pick. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I did that is because, like I said, I want to do this as long as possible, but if something happens and this doesn't continue, I want to at least talk about U2 at least once, because I love this band that much. Their music has meant so much to me throughout their life, my life, and their life. I meant a lot to them. So honestly, like some of the songs on this album are the songs I've probably listened to the most in my entire life. Like, I think I've listened to like Where the Streets Have No Name countless times in my life. Like, and I remember listening to this album a lot as a kid, and it meaning a lot to me because I was kind of a very serious teenager too. But
Oh no, were you, Matt? Were
Oh.
you an angsty teen?
Yeah.
I would not believe it.
No, me? No. But now, like, looking back on it and doing it for this show, again, there's some amazing, spectacular songs on this album, but I don't really think it's their best anymore. I think that, like I said, there's a couple things that I would take off Exit. The song doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense why why it's here at all. But I would tell people, like, if you want to get into U2, I would say listen to this album first because it perfectly represents their classic sound and their classic mystique about them. Like, personally, I want to give this album a 5, but as a music critic, I can't because I don't think it's perfect. So I'm going to give it 4 1/4 grains of sand that are stuck in your shoe out of 5. Because they're in the desert a lot. So,
I don't know why I clapped for that, but
No, I loved it.
It's fine. Herd mentality.
but yeah,
I'm feeling
that's
good, guys. I think that was talking.
Well, hold on.
Tunes.
Let's. I gotta get one more thing. 2 more things actually. First of all, Disembodied Voice. You got anything else you want to say? Thank you very much. So
those are socks.
Those were socks. We gave it socks today, guys. Also, once again, please donate to the Arcade Comedy Theater. It's it's a nonprofit, and anything that you guys can do to help, we'll put a link up here in the screen, or at least like a URL code or whatever. And yeah, that's it. Thanks guys for watching. So yeah, that's it. This has been
Talking
Tunes
with
you guys.
Bye.
Hi.
But I still haven't talked all of these tunes. But I still haven't talked all of these tunes.